Welcome to yet another edition of the Stats and Stacks podcast. For today, we're going over NFL Week 14. First things first, make sure you give this video a like, hit the subscribe, give a follow over on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, wherever there's social media. There is the Stats and Stacks podcast. Again, a few teams on bye this week. We had the Cardinals and I don't even remember. Was it Washington? I believe that's on bye. I think they might be the only two. But at the end of the day, it's an interesting card. A lot of you have Philly and Dallas and Miami all not on the main slate, so you do have to be careful this week. But a lot of weird games, a lot of just bold calls we're gonna have to make. And a lot of unders, even starting on Thursday. We had the Patriots up against the Steelers. Steelers are 6-point home favorites. The Mitch Trubisky led Steelers over under at 30 and a half. Crazy. That's a super low number. That might be the lowest number I've seen all year. And I'm still going to take the under. I don't know how these offensive score. Again, Mitch looked absolutely putrid the time he was in there, and that he does not have the locker room whatsoever. The Patriots, they're going to be without Ramondre Stevenson now. They're going to be without Pop Douglas. I think they're going to have to run an offense through Zeke Elliott and Devontae Parker. So that's very, very concerning with Bailey Zappi under center. So yeah, it's going to be terrible. I love the under because neither team can score. Fantasy wise, obviously it's not part of the main slate. So home fantasy wise, hopefully you don't have to start any of those players. They're all terrible. Like literally, don't start any of them. All right, now you can start both defenses against each other if you need to. If you need to stream a defense, you can do that for sure. All right, next game, we have the Atlanta Falcons going up against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Falcons are 1.5-point favorites at home. Over under sitting at 39.5. Fully cognizant of the fact that whatchamacallit, Desmond Ridder never loses in Atlanta, but there's a first time for everything. The Falcons should never be favored against anyone unless they're playing the Panthers. So give me the Buccaneers as dogs. Mike Evans killed AJ Terrell the last time they went against each other. So I'm just looking for him to do it again. Always start Mike Evans. You can start him no matter what his price is. Even DFS wise, he's been crushing all year long. Godwin, I don't know. He's an okay price, but I don't really want to touch it. Rachaad White, probably not this matchup. Falcons aren't the worst against the run. So I probably don't want to touch Rachaad White here. Obviously, you can start Bijan, but not in DFS, man. Bucks aren't that bad against the run either. So I don't know. It's a really weird game here. I don't want to start any of the offenses, to be honest with you. I like Mike Evans, and that's about it. I don't want to stream any quarterbacks, and definitely not the Desmond Ridder experience. Sorry, we're having a little bit of technical difficulties, but we'll hop right back in here. No issues, no problems. But I do like the Bucks as dogs on a betting perspective. Give me the plus money on the better team. Next game, we have the Chicago Bears going up against the Detroit Lions. Lions are 3.5-point road favorites. Over under at 43.5. Give me the over. I think this is a Justin Fields explosion game. I'm going to have Fields everywhere. He's going to be my primary quarterback, to be honest with you. And I think I'm going to play naked Shields. The only one you could even think about playing is DJ Moore, and I'm not doing it. The Lions' run defense has been stout. You can't run on them, so ignore any of the Bears running backs in general. Lions side, they're going to go crazy. Amon-Ra should lose his mind. I don't think there's going to be another trick play for JMO. So I like Amon-Ra. I like Goff, but I really like Fields here. I think he's going to run for his life, and I think he's going to put up some crazy rushing touchdown numbers. Like anytime touchdown score, Justin Fields rushing touchdown is almost a guarantee. I think he's going to get multiple in this game. I love Fields in this matchup. I love Amon-Ra. Sam Laporta, you can start. I like everyone on the Lions side. Monty, Gibbs, everyone on the Lions side. And I think Fields takes all the fantasy value from the Bears, and that's okay with me. Maybe you'll even have I just like Fields. All right, next game we have the Colts going against the Bengals. Talk about weird matchups. You have Jake Browning going up against Gardner Minshew. That's gross. Colts are road favorites over under at 43.5. strong take here. I think that the Jake Browning experience, his crazy game against Jacksonville, I think it was a one-off. I think he's going to grow confident after that game. They're going to try to execute the same game plan, and I think they're going to get absolutely killed. I think the Colts are going to bring the house. Do I think the Colts are good? No. But do I think Jake Browning might have some confidence and now just throw pick after pick after pick? Yeah, I like the Colts defense here. I like Zach Moss in this matchup. Bengals are not good against the run. I know Zach Moss burned everyone last week, but would he have like 7 points? I guess that's not a burn with his price, but I think he's gonna have a much better week here. Um, yeah, you run more on the Bengals than you pass on them. I don't like Gardner. I don't like you can always start Pittman. He's starting to heat up, but I really like Moss in this matchup. Bengals side, you can always start Chase. You can't stop speed, but I'm just not a fan here. I don't really want to start any of them. Maybe you can start Mixon. The Colts aren't great against the run either. But I really like Moss here, and that's about it. I think it's going to be a low scoring affair. And I think the Colts are going to run away with this thing. They're going to win by like a touchdown or two because of a lot of turnovers. I like Zach Moss, and I like the defense, and you can accompany both of those together. Next game, we have the Jacksonville Jaguars going up against the Cleveland Browns. Browns are 3-point home favorites. Yeah, you're reading that right. And it's mainly because the Jacksonville Jaguars may have lost Trevor Lawrence. We're not sure if he's going to play this game or not. It's still up in the air. I don't know why these things are playing. It's still up in the air. He's saying he's going to play potentially, but I think at some point Jacksonville's going to have to protect him from himself. But that's why it's at 30.5. You have Joe Flacco going up against CJ Beathard. It's gross. It's disgusting. I again will start both of their defenses. Both these defenses are actually pretty good. The thing with Jacksonville is they have a really good run defense, but their pass defense is a little questionable. If it wasn't Joe Flacco, I'd like the Browns a lot here, but Amari Cooper is banged up. So you might have no Amari with Joe Flacco throwing to Elijah Moore and Cedric Tillman going up against a CJ Beathard ran offense with no Christian Kirk, just Zay Jones and Calvin Ridley. I don't know. It's gross. I want no part of it. I like both their defenses, and I don't like anyone on their offenses. It's a really, really gross week this week. But somebody scores. Somebody's got to put up points. Do I think it's going to be in the Panthers game? I don't know, man. And I don't even think I went over the bet for the last one. I will take the Jaguars. I'll still take the Jaguars. It's dog or pass there. Next game, I do think the Panthers are live for some odd reason, and I definitely think they cover the cover the 5. 5 points for the Saints is crazy. I don't think Derek Carr is going to play. Now, Jameis is a good backup, but they're also dealing with problems with Rashid Shaheed, and they're dealing with some injuries themselves. Chuba Hubbard's been heating up. He's been getting more opportunities, and he's been taking full advantage and scoring. He's looked really good. He seems to be their goal line back. So I think I'm going to ride the hot hand and see if he can go 3 straight weeks on fire. Let's go for it. I don't hate Chuba Hubbard in this matchup. Adam Thielen, I guess you can play if there's no Marshawn Lattimore. You can definitely play Thielen. Saints side, you can definitely start Kamara. Panthers are the absolute worst against the run, so Kamara is going to lose he's going to lose his mind. Taysom Hill is live, especially with all the injuries on the offensive side. Chris Olave with Jameis. Jameis loves Chris Olave. Michael Thomas still on IR. I like all the Saints pieces, but I just don't think they cover the 5. I think it's too much. I'll take the Panthers to cover, but I like the over here, and I like all the Saints pieces, and I like Chuba Hubbard. And let me look and see if Lattimore's playing or not. If he's not playing, Thielen's okay. You can do a lot worse. And Jonathan Mingo's been doing well for his price, but just keep an eye on it. Next game's going to be more controversy. We have the Texans going up against the Jets. I think it's going to be Zach Wilson at quarterback. Zach Wilson's not sure if it's going to be Zach Wilson. 3.5. I think it's too many points. I'm going to take the home dogs and the Jets, and I might take their money line, honestly. The Jets struggle against the run, so you can start Dameon Pierce, you can start Devin Singletary, but it's a split. I don't want to do that. I really don't want to start any Texans this week. Matchups make fights, and at the end of the day, the Jets are bad on offense, but they have a tremendous secondary. The Texans just lost Tank Dell for the season, so now they just have Brandon Cooks, or not Brandon Cooks. What am I saying? Robert Woods and Nico Collins. I love both of those receivers. I really love Nico Collins, but I think Gardner can lock him up. So if you put Gardner on Nico, you're stuck with a Robert Woods versus DJ Reader matchup, and I I don't know. I think the Jets just match up perfectly with them. It's at home. It's in Gotham. I think the Jets are going to get the win. I think it's going to be a money line Jets play. Fantasy wise, Texans aren't good against the run. It could be a Brees Hall game. I'm fine with starting Brees Hall here. That's it. Jets D, Brees Hall. I'm calling it a day. Not a big fan of this slate whatsoever. Next game, some people are saying could be a shootout. I can see it. I can see it. Or I can see Ravens domination. Ravens 7-point home favorites. I'm okay with that. I'm going to take them. If the Rams do anything, I think it's going to be garbage time and catch-up mode. So I like Cooper Kupp. I like Puka Nacua. I like their receivers. Not a big Kyron Williams guy here. If you want to start Stafford, he might get a little Blake Bortles garbage time later on. Rams can't really stop running backs. It's just a matter of picking which one. I think a sneaky play is Keaton Mitchell here. He was heating up beforehand. And if they get ahead, I think Keaton Mitchell is live to score anytime touchdown. I don't hate him. I don't hate Gus Edwards. He does nothing but score. He just is. He can't help it. He scores every single game. So I like Gus Edwards here. Their receiving core, whatever. You can start your Flowers. Andrews is out, so Flowers is usually pretty decent. So I like Flowers. I like both their running backs. I guess Lamar could go off, but I'm just not a fan of it this week. And I like the Ravens wide receivers and Stafford in garbage time. I'm going to pick the Ravens to win, and I think the over hits. Next game, we have the Minnesota Vikings that are still led by Josh Dobbs, but they're getting back Justin Jefferson. Huge. They're taking on the the Las Vegas Raiders. Minnesota 3-point road favorites. That sounds weird, but I agree with it. Fantasy perspective, slates, I'll go ahead and if Justin Jefferson's playing, you can always start him. Even with it's Josh Dobbs, it doesn't matter. Start Justin Jefferson. You've been waiting for it. You haven't been able to play him for like 5 or 6 weeks. Go ahead, let it out your system. Get it out your system. Throw JJ right back in there. I don't hate their running backs. The Raiders aren't the great against the run. So I like JJ. I like Madison. That's probably about it on the Minnesota side. No, I like TJ Hawkinson too. I like everyone. I like everyone on the Vikings, to be honest with you. The Raiders defense is terrible. It's really, really, really bad. In regards to the Raiders, you know where it's going. Aidan McConnell loves Devontae Adams. Josh Jacobs gets a lot of run, and that's it. It's a 2-man team. Jacoby Myers is dead to Aidan O'Connell. I don't know what Jacoby Myers did to Aidan O'Connell. Jimmy G loved Jacoby. Aidan McConnell, not so much. So I like Devontae, I like Josh, and that's where all the targets are. That's it. All right, next game, we have the Seattle Seahawks went up against the 49ers. This is another one where I think it's just going to be a clear demolition. The 49ers are the best team in football. They're at home, and I think they're going to absolutely crush Seattle like they did earlier in the year. I'm going to pick the 49ers here. Fantasy wise, Seahawks they've been worse against the run as of late, but they're still decent. So I don't feel great about spending all that money on CMC. I think it's an Ayuk and Debo game. I know it was Debo last game, so I guess it's Ayuk's turn. And you can start Brock Purdy. He's still only like 6,500 in DK. So if you want to use him on a discount, you still can. So I like Purdy. I like Kittle. He's been heating up. He's been going crazy the last few weeks. So Purdy, Kittle, any of their receivers, you can obviously start CMC. It's never a bad play. I just like the receivers and the quarterback and tight end on their price tag a little more. Seahawks side, they're going to have to pass try to catch up. It was DK last week. Does that mean it's a Lockett game? I don't know. Does it mean it's a JSN game? He's been heating up as of late too. I don't hate it. It might be a JSN game, honestly. I like it at his price tag. I don't hate Geno. I think Geno might have to get some garbage time too. I don't know who their running back's going to be. Kenneth Walker could be coming back. Zach Charbonnet, I'm pretty sure, is really hurt with his knee injury. Could be DJ Dallas to himself. Like, it could be some grossness. You don't run on the 49ers anyway. So just their receivers. And possibly Geno and garbage time. That's about it. 49ers, you can start everyone. But I don't really want to pay up for CMC. But I think 49ers dominate, cover that 10.5. Next game, obviously very, very biased, but I think the Bills are fucking live. Bills, dogs, 1.5 point dogs. Chiefs are not the same Chiefs. They're not as scary. They have no receivers. That's the issue. The Bills, terrible secondary. They have nothing going there. Rasul Douglas helped them so much, picking him up before the trade deadline. It's looked night and day different in that secondary. But it's still not good. It's still, they're just too hurt on defense. There's nothing they can do. Von Miller's a shell of himself, and on a personal and physical standpoint, just not a good defense right now. They're hurt. They're not coming back. They have broken legs and torn meniscuses and torn Achilles. Like, they are not coming back. So it is what it is. They're trying to make do with what they have. Chiefs luckily have no receivers to take advantage of it. They have Travis Kelce in the drop squad. I don't know. Sky Moore is not impressive. I really liked his tape coming out. I thought he was going to be a thing. He kind of sucks. I thought he was going to be great this year. MVS always sucked. He can never catch a ball, so no surprise there. Rashee Rice has been a pleasant surprise, but he doesn't catch anything deep. They have nothing scary going downfield. Like, they don't. They've been running the ball a lot more. Pacheco's look great, but the Bills' run defense is not bad. It's usually bad. It's not bad this year. So Pacheco's going to struggle to run. He's not that fast. You have receivers that can't get open. We have a linebacker who's not truly a linebacker. He's very, very small and can probably no one can guard Travis Kelce, but can at least keep up and make it a little difficult. So I don't know, man. The Chiefs defense is pretty good. But Josh Allen is going to Josh Allen. You're going to have good games. You're going to have bad games. You don't know what you're going to get. But I know that they're dogs. And I know the Chiefs lost some players on defense in their last game. So I like the under. I think the 48.5 is too high with how much these offenses have been struggling as of late. But in a bet perspective, I'll take the Bills. Fantasy, you can start Josh always. You can start Mahomes always. Start Kelce always. Start Diggs always. If you want to try to relive that Gabe Davis game, I feel like a lot of people are going to try to do that. No, I don't hate Khalil Shakir this game, to be honest with you. James Cook, I don't know how the Chiefs' run defense is, to be honest with you. I'm not 100% certain. I'm even just trying to think about their last game. It's all right. I don't know. I'm not too certain, but you're going to start your usual suspects with both teams. I'm going to take the Bills as a bet. Next game, Broncos, Chargers. Chargers 3-point favorites did surprise me, but I think they win. I think they win at home. They win and lose every game by 3. Now it's lined at 3, so as long as you're not using ESPN Bet, it can be a wash or a win for the Chargers, in my opinion. Fantasy wise, you talk about a consolidated target share, you know where it's going. To Keenan Allen, that's about it. Pat Surtain got hurt in his last game. I don't know if he's playing. Keenan's in some trouble because I do think Pat shadows. Otherwise, they have no receivers, man. They're all hurt. Joshua Palmer hurt. I don't even know who their 2 is right now. Is it Guyton? That's scary. That's not good. Gerald Everett. I physically don't know. Austin Eckler looks slow now. It's just Justin Herbert's trying, but he's got nothing to work with. Their defense doesn't look that great. I think the Broncos are extremely live. You can start Judy. You can start Sutton. Sutton can't help but score. He scores every single week, all year. He's been scoring. No one's playing him. People are starting to catch on, but it's week 14. And the book has been written. Start Sutton, please. He's a guaranteed score. You can just start with 6 points, apparently. But outside of Sutton and Judy, Chargers you can run on a little too. I don't know. Chargers defense is not good. You can start a lot of Broncos. You can start Russ. I like all the Broncos, honestly. I'm choosing the Chargers to win. Makes no sense. I don't know where it's coming from the Chargers, but I like the Broncos and DFS, literally their receivers and Javonte and Russ. Chargers, guess it's going to be a Keenan game, baby. All right, next game, we have the Philadelphia Eagles going up against the Dallas Cowboys. Cowboys are 3.5 point favorites after that Eagles demolition last week. And I agree with the line. I think the Cowboys are due to have a mess up game. Dak is about to do something stupid, but I don't think it's against the Eagles. Eagles secondary is terrible. CD Lamb should absolutely eat. I think Brandon Cooks is going to go nuclear. Again, this is the night game, so it's not a part of the main slate. But if you have Brandon Cooks in your season long, I think you start him. You fire him up. You fire up every wide receiver you can against the Eagles secondary. It's bad. Like they can't guard anything, especially in the middle of the field. CD Lamb is going to explode, and Brandon Cooks is probably going to score. They're hard to run on. I don't expect a lot from Pollard. Eagles wise, AJ Brown is intense. He's going to go crazy. Devontae Smith. I think Devontae Smith is the one that goes crazy. I think Gilmore's going to be matched up on AJ, and AJ's going to AJ. He's going to do something. He's probably going to at least score. But the Cowboys always jump routes. As much as Bland gets a whole bunch of picks, he also gives up a lot of big plays, just like Trayvon Diggs used to do. And I think Smith is the type of guy in the number 2 that's going to expose him. So I think Smith goes crazy. I know that Dallas Goedert is eligible to come back. I don't know what he's going to do there. I think Swift could struggle a little here, but I do love Devontae Smith in this matchup quite a bit. So I like CD Lamb. I like Brandon Cooks. I love Devontae Smith here. And then that takes us to the 2 Monday night games. Yeah, you heard that right. 2 at the same time, both at 8:15. Don't really know what's going on here. And we have the Titans against the Dolphins. Dolphins are 13-point favorites. That's a lot of points. But the Dolphins usually blow out, so they'll probably cover it, honestly. They don't just win. The Dolphins don't win close games. They lose close games, or they absolutely blow you out. And the Dolphins, again, for 2 years now, have not beat a team with a winning record. Titans are 4-8, not a winning record. So that means Dolphins domination. Season long, obviously, you're going to start Tua, Tyreek, all your usual suspects. Titans, if you want to start Derrick Henry, that's fine. Just so they get anywhere near the red zone, he's going to finish it off. But outside of that, you also have to watch him for concussion protocol. He got clipped last week, and is in concussion protocol or is not in concussion protocol. I don't know. There's mixed reviews. Mike Vrabel saying he isn't. Reporter saying he is. I don't know what's going on with Derrick Henry. Just keep an eye on him. If he is playing, you can start him. You're not going to sit him. Otherwise, just start all your Dolphins. They're going to go absolutely crazy. Tennessee secondary is terrible. In showdowns, you have to have him. He's going to break the slate. Season long, if you're making decisions between like Tua and Brock Purdy or something, just start Tua over everyone. Number 1 QB this week. And then the last game, Packers versus Giants. Pretty gross, but the Packers are struggling against the run. So Saquon, even though you know he is their whole offense, he's going to do something. I like Saquon here. Do I like the Packers? 6.5 points. I think that's too many. I'll take the Giants to cover. I think the Packers win the game, but I think the Giants cover the 6.5. 36.5 and over under. I'll take the under. Jordan Love has been on fire as of late, but I think it kind of simmers a little here. I think Aaron Jones is probably going to be out again, honestly. So if you want to start AJ Dillon against the Giants, feel free. Romeo Dobbs is just touchdown or bust. Christian Watson, I don't know what's going on with his hamstring. Jayden Reed's heating up, so do keep an eye on Jayden Reed. If you have him and you're making sit decisions and season long, I don't hate him, honestly. And then, yeah, literally keep an eye out on Darren Waller. He's supposed to be coming back from IR soon. I don't think it's going to be this week. So I think it's the Saquon show, and that's all we got going on Monday. And that's week 14. A lot of really, really low over-unders, a lot of gross matchups. Hopefully you can cipher through everything and get a good week. Again, Justin Fields or die, baby. Let's get it.